What's up, internet? My name is Kyle, back with another video about cameras, tech, and all that good stuff. Today is not a gear review video or anything like that. Today I'm going to edit the photos that you guys sent me in Adobe Lightroom on my iPad. I asked you guys and I received plenty of photo submissions to edit and tweak and have fun with. So thank you guys to all the people who sent them in. And don't worry, I will put the email address out there again to get more photos from you guys for more of these videos. I have quite a few, so everybody's not gonna make it in this first video. I'm planning to do this on a weekly, bi-weekly basis, and I feel like it will give a good flow to the channel. And plus, I really loved it when I did it the first time. If you didn't see that video, it is up here if you want to check that out, and I'll also put a link in the description. So I'm going to try and use this setup over here. I use that for my second YouTube channel where I do music reviews. It's just like a different angle, so gonna try that for the channel today. Gonna edit on my iPad over my desk. So without further ado, let's switch the camera angles and get to editing your pictures. Voila! We are over at the desk. Different angle, I know. Something new for the channel for once. I just figured, why not have a little fun with this? Do something different. Got some mood lighting. Maybe I'll do a video on how this is all set up. I love this arm setup. I didn't have the idea myself. I saw it on another YouTube video and got a bunch of parts and kind of changed it a little bit. Would love to do a video on the setup, but let's dive in to your photos. I'm super pumped about this if you can't tell already. So here we go. Let's go into the first photo that I'm gonna edit. Okay, so this is the first image here. It's a leaf on what seems like a table, like an outdoor table. This is from Ian, which is IB Creative. I'll put it on the screen here on Instagram. Ian has been following me for quite a while at this point, so thanks for sending in a photo to edit, Ian. I didn't mention when I put out the call for your guys' photos to send in raw photos, but if you don't shoot raw, JPEG is perfectly fine. You can't edit a JPEG as well or as deeply as you could a raw photo, but let's just play around with it. What's interesting is I know he has an a6000, but it says no EXIF data, and it's got a weird resolution. So I don't know if this was already cropped, but let's see what we can do. So I really like this photo. It's a pretty basic photo, but it's interesting. The textures on it, at least looking at my iPad, are really interesting. I mean, just zooming in, it looks cool. So I think what I'm gonna go for is more texture, and we'll see how it goes. So there is a effect now in mobile Lightroom called texture, and when you add that, it gives it kind of this grit. If you go all the way, it's probably a little bit too much. And then also something else that adds grit is clarity. So I'm gonna up the clarity too. Clarity also ups the brightness, the overall brightness of your photo, which can be a good or a bad thing. So I'm gonna try and make this like a gritty photo. So we're gonna do dehaze as well. This is what it looked like before touching it, and this is what it looks like now after doing some things. I'm gonna also vignette it a little bit to give a bit of a focus on the leaf itself. And then what I like to do for things where I wanna like draw focus to something is do a selective edit, whether that be a radial, which is the circle, or using the brush tool, and even pump up things even more in that area. We're gonna do some contrast too there, and some sharpening on the leaf. Let's also do a little sharpening also on the overall photo. And this is a mask right here, so if you hold down on the photo and slide the masking, you can see what's being sharpened. So we want, basically just the leaf to be sharpened, but it doesn't look like we're able to do that too much. Anyway, this is where we started. This is what we got. So it's looking pretty gritty. I like it. I'm gonna see if I can remove this little vine over here with the healing tool. So let's make it a little bigger. I don't know how it would do it. I'm gonna have to do it in like pieces. So let's see. No, that kind of doesn't look great. Maybe, just maybe, we'll just crop the photo anyway. I know some people aren't a big fan of cropping photos, but I don't think it takes away too much from it. Or if it doesn't take away too much from it, do it. I'm a big fan of the 4x5 for Instagram, vertical photos. Instagram really doesn't portray landscape photos very well, in my opinion. It doesn't show it. It doesn't do it justice versus a portrait style photo on Instagram. So let's try. You can't. This was shot in a landscape type mode, so you would have to do a custom and then kind of work it out. But no, I like the landscape better. I can already tell. So we'll cancel the crop. Brighten this up a little bit, a little more vignette, and then we'll do the tone curve, which I showed in a couple other Lightroom videos, where we can really get the kind of darker tones going, a little more contrasty. And I'm really bad at color. I'm like red deficient colorblind, so I'm not sure what color this leaf is or what's the main color, but I will try my best to... So, okay, I see the veins are yellow. We'll saturate that a little more, and then... Okay, so this is how I find out what color things are. I desaturate. I'm like, oh, okay, that's the color of it. Do a little more. And then, yeah, I think that might be it for now. You could desaturate or change the color of the fence or the table, whatever it's on. But you know what? I think I'm just going to leave it at that. So right there, that is the finished product. So this is what it was before. Seemed pretty flat, in my opinion. But it's a JPEG, and we made it look like that. A little more gritty, little darker tones, the vignette, and yeah. So that is the photo from Ian. Thank you, Ian, for sending that in, and I hope you like the edit. I will email it back to you with the edit, so you can see the results for yourself. Cool. Okay, so this is the second photo. This is from Steve Smith. He said this was shot in Philly, which I used to live in Philly. I live outside of Philadelphia now, but really rad photo. Love it. He sent another photo, but I like this photo better. He's got two Instagram accounts, Tsunami Films and a personal one. I'll throw both up on the screen for you guys to check out. And let's get into editing this. And this is a RAW file, if I am not mistaken. It's a TIFF file, so yeah. So this is cool. It was shot on May 25th, full resolution. It was shot at f6.3, ISO 3200, 1/800th, and with the 35mm f1.8. Love that lens on the Sony a6000. So check this out. It's a little noisy, but I kind of think that's cool for this photo. I'm not somebody who really harps on noise too much. Obviously, if it takes away from the photo, then that's a bummer. But so far, so good on this. So let's take a look at this. So we're just gonna embrace the noise a little bit. So we're gonna go some clarity. No dehaze, doesn't look good. Let's just go right to the tone curve on this bad boy. I kind of like the highlights on this photo. And I also like the blacks on it too. Probably doesn't need much sharpening going on because that would just accentuate the noise. We'll reduce it a little bit. Make sure the masking is, yep, just kind of sharpening the train. I wonder where he shot this. Such a cool location. So let's do, we don't really need any shadows kind of lifted. And then we can do a little vibrance. Sometimes it helps colors pop a little bit. All right, so we can already see it was a little a little flat before, and now because we upped the clarity and the highlights, the bright spots are really jumping out, which I kind of dig. I kind of might want to darken any kind of bright colors that are going on, maybe, to kind of have that gritty feel still. And then let's do, what am I looking for? Vignette again, kind of on this one would be pretty dope, I think. And then there was something else that I had on my mind. Texture a little bit. Oh, that's what it was. Grain. So let's kind of move in a little bit. Oh, look at the barbed wire. So cool. And let's look. Not sure if I'm a fan of adding in unnatural grain on this photo. Not sure if you guys can even tell what it's adding versus what it's not. I'm gonna go with around 30 on it. So let's see. So this is non-edited. So again, it's a little flat, it's a raw file. I mean, that's kind of how it's gonna come across. You can see a lot of the detail is still there. So like the shadows on the beams of the bridge. Now I did make that darker, but you can still see it. You can still see the bolts on the bridge versus the non-edited and then the edited. Now, the bottom left is a little distracting for me, but I kind of like it. I think I'm going to accentuate the car even a little bit more. So I'm going to do a selective edit on the car and just do kind of like a highlight, bringing out the highlights on the car. Nothing too exact. Let's do that. Some contrast. How do we feel about this? Maybe that's too much. You know what? I think I kind of like it. I think I kind of like this. I just love this picture. It's such a cool shot. Okay. All right. I think I'm happy with this. So, this is the before, and then this is the after. Just kind of highlighting kind of the center piece of the photo, keeping it gritty and even adding a little more gritty to it. I mean, if we wanted to, we could get it even a little bit more bossy, like in the tones here. But yeah, that's the final edit, I think, is what I'm going with. You could edit this photo a bunch of different ways. You could go black and white. Let's see what it looks like in black and white. Hold on. Hold the phone. Black and white looks pretty sick too. Not gonna lie. Whew. That looks sick. But I tend to favor color photos more, and I like the color photo better in this, but the black and white did look sick. Okay. Thank you so much for submitting the photo, 2 photos, but I like this photo better, so hopefully you are pleased with the edit, and I will reply back with the edit to you. So cool. All right, next is from Jan Sackman. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And his Instagram is like Mirror Lens or something along those lines. I'll put it on the screen. Sorry for butchering your Insta. And yeah, so his is a pretty cool landscape. It's got a boat, it's got some reflections, it's got some sky, and a lot of the detail is left in the sky, which is pretty cool. And this is a raw photo, so we will get to play with it. The settings, it's f9. Typically a landscape photo you're going to shoot at a lower f-stop, so that's cool. ISO 200, must have been bright out, and he shot it with the kit lens, so pretty cool at 50 millimeters. So he actually zoomed in quite a bit, which is interesting. So let's take a look at this photo. It's looking a little dark. Let's go to light. Actually, let me look. I'm going to put the histogram on the screen. So you can see if it was perfectly exposed, it would have, the histogram would be just touching the right hand side. However, it's mostly to the left. So I'm going to brighten this up just a little bit, just a tad exposure. As you can see, the histogram move. So now it's kind of looking like it's a sunny day out there, which is cool in my opinion on the photo. So we got that. We'll do some shadow lifting too. Let's zoom in. Okay, so already looking better, and then I kind of feel like I want to accentuate the brightness of this day, so I'm gonna go up with some highlights a little bit too, and then I'm also gonna counterbalance and kind of do some contrast, get some color. Let's go to the S curve, get some tones. Control the highlights there. I don't think this photo needs to be one of those faded photos. I kind of like the vibrance of this photo, so we're gonna keep it that way. We're even gonna bump up the colors a little bit more. Hopefully it's not looking too cartoony or anything like that. And then let's do, what do they call this? Why am I spacing on the name? Oh my god, I'm spacing on the name of this. A gradient. There we go. Jesus. Alright. We're going to bring the exposure up a little bit and bring down the highlights. I mean, did that even make a change? A little bit. Brighten the sky a little bit. Let's do, there we go. Let's do... do that. Okay. All right. And then let's do some... Oh, see, that's what you do not want to do with the clarity. Like that, to me, that destroys this photo. So let's just do a little bit. No vignette needed on this. Let's do, which I forgot to do on the other photos, is lens correction. Just take a look. I don't always enable lens corrections. It's supposed to obviously fix any kind of what do you call it? Like a barrel distortion with your lens, whether you're zoomed in or whatever, or if it's prime lens. If you do enable lens corrections, it will either get rid of a vignette that the lens has at that point, a bunch of different things. But I think it's personal taste if you want to leave that on or off. I'm going to turn it on because I don't want a vignetting. I don't want this photo to be vignetted. Sharpening, let's just make sure it's only kind of taking care of most of the foreground. Cool. We got clarity going. What else could we do? We could, let's see, we could mess with some colors. We could change all of the green, which would be interesting. Yeah, that looks a little too... I don't know what's the word. Does that look bad? Man, as you see, I am terrible with colors, but sometimes I like to completely change the greens, like with this color, and then raise it up a little bit, so it's just a completely different vibe. But I'm gonna go back on that. I'm not feeling that too much. But we could desaturate some of this yellow a little bit. Other than that, I think that might be it. The only thing I would say about this photo that I would maybe change is making sure that the boat is sharp. I mean, I know it's a scene, it looks like a village or, you know, a town from the waterfront, and you want to get everything, but there's no real focus of the photo. The boat could have been that, which, you know, it's just a personal preference. It's whatever you're aiming for. But overall, I like the layers. There's the layer of the tree line, then there's the layer of the houses, then there's the layer of the waterfront, the little coast there, and everything seems pretty level. So yeah, I think that's it. I think this is fully edited. So this is not edited, and this is edited. Nothing too crazy, but a nice little picture, a nice little scene, I would say. Thanks for sending in that photo. I will reply with the finished edit. Let me know what you think. Okay, the next photo is pretty cool. It's by Whitesea Venhift? No, Whitesea Van Hyft? I don't know. I really hope I didn't butcher that, but I probably did. So this is a really rad photo. He mentioned he shot it with the 18-105. Let's check that out. So let's look at the TIFF file. Awesome. It's raw. And why won't I cycle through that? Darn it. Come, I want to look at the other stuff. So he mentioned he shot this early in the morning at near blue hour, which is really cool. You can see just like the coolness of the photo. He's got the trailing lights, which is really awesome. And then this is a church or, some type of cathedral. St. Michaelsburg in Belgium. Never been there. Would love to go there. This looks like a really cool street. See if we could crop it a little bit. So 4x5, let's just assume we're posting this on Instagram, and we obviously got that part out that I wasn't too fond of, and we're gonna even go in a little bit more to get rid of that light, even though that light's interesting on the left. And then and then we're gonna go like right about here, because you gotta leave a little room, a little negative space on the top, because at least in my opinion, I like to edit pictures for Instagram where the most of the photo is in the square, the 1-to-1 square, even though most people are gonna look at it in the, just the feed where you can see the full photo. So we're gonna crop it. Hope you don't mind. And then let's get to making this a little punchier, if you will. I kind of want to keep the coolness to this photo. Let's make it a little darker, a little more brooding, if you will. Let's do that. Let's do a little, just a little bit. Too much is not great. Kind of don't like the fade on this. Now it's looking a little too dark maybe in spots. Lift the shadows a little bit. Now the highlights probably need to calm down. So let's do one of these guys over yonder, like that. Whoops. Okay, that's a little better. I'm getting a little kind of color to the sky. Dude, look at that sick clock tower back there. That is so sick. All right. And I mean, I already overall like the look of this a lot better. This thing is not noisy at all. I wish I could see some of the other settings. It won't let me cycle through that for some reason. What's the exposure like? Let's look at the histogram. It's looking pretty well exposed. I'm trying to think if there's something else I kind of want to mess with. Tiny bit of texture. That car looks super cool. Let's see if we can get a little highlight on it. A little contrast. So it just pops just a little bit more. All right. So let's see. This is the original. And then this is the edited. And I actually, now that I think about it, there's one other thing I do want to do. Is I think I want to do a radial down here, or gradient down here. Oh, shit. And I want to lift the shadows just a little bit. Let's do... Yeah, I think this looks good. I think this is the final right now. So that is it. This is the original photo. You can see the top left is just blown out a little bit. There's a little flatness to the car and the street. And then this is the edit. Little more punchy. Definitely has the blue tones, but that's kind of what I feel like he was going for. It was close to blue hour, and we wanted to keep it cool. Got a little blueness back from the sky and put a little more punch to the car. Yeah, I'm down with it. All right, let me know what you think about that photo, and I will send it back to you fully edited. And yeah, pumped for that one. Okay, this next one is from somebody who I've been friends with on Instagram for a while now, and that is Kevin Escobar. Thank you, Kevin, for sending this in. His Instagram is Barco Image. I will put that on the screen for you guys to check out. So this is shot with a Leica M. I've never edited a photo from a Leica camera. They are quite pricey, and their lenses are quite pricey, so this should be fun. It's a JPEG. It's not a RAW, but let's have a little fun. It's shot at 28 millimeters, a Summicron M 28 ASPH. No idea what that means. It's a Leica M Type 240 camera. Pretty cool. It's at f2.4. It's JPEG. It was shot on April 20th. Anyway, this is a cool, like, toned, not cool as in like temperature. This is a pretty cool photo as far as the tones going on. It's got like the sunlight coming in. I guess this is either, this may be a ferry, or is it a rail car? It looks like a ferry, and that looks like New York. I know he lives up in North Jersey, so it just makes sense. Yeah, I dig the vibe. This may be like a day trip or something like that, and you just snap a photo of people in the moment. So pretty cool. And then you got the people here, you know, leaning their heads on each other and stuff like that. So I think I kind of just want to accentuate the tones going on. So I want to add a little bit of contrast, a little bit of black. So we're already a little more punchy. Not sure if I want to accentuate or lift the shadows or not. And then let's kind of see what we can do as far as getting it even more kind of toned in. The only thing that like bothers me of this photo is it looks like New York City is on a tilt. But I don't think I can do anything about that, because where am I looking for? There we go. Because then it looks like the people are tilted, or the ferry is tilted, if that makes sense. Yeah, like that, the coast looks straight. Or maybe I'm just losing my mind. I might just be losing my mind. But let's do that. Let's do, I kind of want to do some grain on this photo. I'm not going to lie. Let's sharpen it up a little bit. Why not? And then let's go down here to grain. And let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's so sexy. In my opinion. Obviously, it's opinion here. It's so funny because, like I was saying earlier, like, you don't want noise in photos all the time, but sometimes just grain, like this makes it look like it was shot on a Kodak film camera, and I'm vibing it. This is no grain. See, no grain looks clean, and it does look crispy, but I think I'm gonna go grain. Watch, Kevin's gonna kill me. He's gonna be like, dude, what are you doing to my photo? Sorry, you sent it in. I'm having fun with it. Let's do a little clarity. Yeah, this is getting crunchy. I love it. Dude, I am loving this so much. Look at this girl over here. There's so much happening in this photo. There's this girl over here. This guy looks like the dad from The Sopranos, you know, James Gandolfini. We got this girl who is just like in the bliss of the moment in the morning or whenever this was shot. She's loving the sun. I love this. And then don't think we need any vignette. Dude, I'm loving this right now. Even a little more. Yeah, it looks like I've changed the time of day almost. Like now it looks more evening. I don't know when this was taken, but oh, it says it was at 6:13 p.m. Well, we're making it more of a sunset, okay? Lens corrections. On, off, on, off. We're going with off. And let's see. No, I kind of think that's all right. And then the focus of this photo is definitely these kids in the middle. I kind of think they're already accentuated though, but we're going to do an ever so slightly radial filter on them. Just ever so slightly. Just a little bump and bump. Boom. All right. So that literally, to me, looks like something that was shot on like a film camera, even though it was shot on a super fancy Leica camera. I don't even know how much this camera is. It's a Leica camera, so I'm automatically assuming that it costs a lot of money. But yeah, I think that's what we're going with. I could mess with the colors, like the yellow, and change that or make it a little darker or something like that, but I'm just gonna keep it how it is. So this was unedited little scene of all these people on the train or ferry or whatever it is, and then this is edited, crunchier, grainier, little retro looking. You could even add in like the film, you know, streaks and stuff like that in another app, which really, in my opinion, adds great just like overall theming to photos. I like messing with that a lot, but we're just going to keep it like this, just in editing through Lightroom. All right, so that is it. What did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did 5. I got sent 31 or 30. Some of you guys sent in like multiple emails, sending in different photos, which is totally fine. I'm really pumped to do another one of these, so be on the lookout probably next week. I hope to get out another episode of this. And then I'll ask you guys when I need more photos when I run out. So yeah, we'll get a little more wacky and crazy in the next episode. I kind of just wanted to ease myself into messing around with your guys' pictures. And this is just what I felt like editing right here, just the changes that I made. So we'll get a little crazier as we keep doing these episodes. Can't wait for the next episode. Let me know your thoughts on this episode if you like the format and everything, and we'll go from there. As always, guys, thank you, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Later.